Good morning and welcome to another weekly Moho Monday. I do these to get my mojo going for the week with paper crafting. I look at birthdays coming up in the following week or anniversaries or any other special occasions, so I make sure I have cards ready for that. And so this morning we're going to start off with another card sketch. I discovered this one and I thought it was quite sweet. It's a great one for using up your designer series paper, and it's also a great one for using an embossing folder. So welcome. My name is Erica from Me to You Paper Crafts, and I will welcome anyone who is watching. Let me just switch over to my laptop here and see who is here. We are getting pretty excited this morning, especially, well, myself and my team members, because we have received an email from Stampin Up letting us know the free stamp set that we're going to be receiving for our upcoming on tour event in April. So we each receive a free stamp set and they want us to create with it and then maybe have a chance to show what we make during the event. So let me just, here we go. Here I am. Okay, Barbara's here. Good morning. You're the only one here so far, I think, but I'm sure more will join. Carol is on the road in her camper van with her husband. She said she'll try and pop in. They're heading down to the Oregon coast for a few days. And yeah, so she may pop in. So I had a really late morning. I didn't sleep well last night at all. Well, it's mostly because if I happen to wake up and my husband is snoring, I can't get back to sleep. Can't do it. So I got up and walked around and I went downstairs and had a glass of water and I came back up and he had stopped and I get into bed and I settle in and then he starts up again and oh my gosh, once my brain starts thinking about that, I can't think about anything else. So I just could not sleep. And then finally I did doze off, but I think you could hear it in my voice. I'm a bit groggy this morning. And I didn't even have time for breakfast. I kind of rolled out of bed, hit the shower, and here I am, true to form, hopefully. All right, so I think you'll enjoy this card sketch here. Let me turn my camera down so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to sort of have sips of coffee as I go, so cheers. That's my first cup of coffee of the morning. So let's flip my camera and pull you down to my desktop. Okay. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Let me turn on another light. And let me just do some minor adjustments here. I trimmed a cardstock piece. I kept these little bitty strips. They're 1/4 inch strips. I might use them on the inside of my card. Okay. So what have we got here? We've got chocolate on my desk. So these are the little chocolates. They're little bunnies. Aren't they cute? So Cadbury puts them out and Nestle for their Kit Kat and the Dairy Milk little bunny. They're all wrapped, which I love. And then I made this little box, which was part of my Creative Ambassador week or month. I was Creative Ambassador for the month of March. So I'm done now. I did 4 projects using the Best Delivery stamp set, which is retiring, and I put a little bunny on it to represent a truck full of chocolate being delivered. Yeah, so there you go. Okay, so I'm going to make a couple more boxes for little Easter treats. Okay, let's have a look at our sketch. It's really a nice simple one, and it's got a card base, then it has a layer and another layer, and then you've got 3 simple strips of paper. So I thought using designer series paper and keeping the pattern flowing would be nice. and they've left about 1/4 of an inch between each strip here. So they're each 3/4 in width, and then they're different lengths. So what I thought I would use, I want to use more of this beautiful tulip paper because I need a couple more Easter cards. So this paper is gorgeous, and I thought, yes I did, I had another piece cut. So I'm going to cut it from this and create a field of tulips. And then I don't know if I'll put ribbon on, I don't know if I'll put, I wanted to make it fairly simple. Could wrap a bit of ribbon. That's why I've chosen to do a 1/2 sheet of cardstock cut lengthwise. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, and then we're going to score this in half at 5 1/2. Because if you're ever thinking about doing ribbon, this is a good way to start if you want to wrap it all the way around the card, or you wrap it around a layer of the card. Oh, there's Carol. She has popped in. Super cute chocolate box. Yes, it turned out really great. And it fits 2 of those chocolates in there. Because how can you give just one? Okay, so let's give this a burnish here. So let us know, are you in the van or are you stopped right now? Okay, so here's our card base. Then I thought I would do one of the colors in here is Blackberry Bliss. This used to be an in color, and they retired it, and people screamed and yelled, and so they brought it back as part of their core colors. So there's your Blackberry Bliss on there. And then I thought I would do another layer of white, and I'm going to emboss this. So these are just 1/8 inch layers. So I'm going to emboss this, and then I'm going to lay the paper strips on top. They'll really pop on the white, I think. Now, speaking of embossing folders, I'm very sad, but this Tasteful Textile embossing folder is retiring. It's my go-to for adding some really subtle embossing on. So it doesn't really have a standout pattern. It's almost like a little tweed. And it's retiring. Very, very sad. So it's on sale right now for $9.80 Canadian. And yeah, so there's quite a few embossing folders that are retiring, but they're bringing in some pretty nice ones. So I've scoured the new PDF, and I've ticked off everything that I want to purchase. And I'm pretty excited. There's some absolutely gorgeous designer series papers again. So lots of fun. So as a demonstrator, I'll be able to pre-order products on April the 1st. And then I will be able to start creating. It's going to be pretty exciting. Who else has joined us? Sharon, good morning. Thank you so much for sharing as well. How are you this morning? All right, so let's cut down. I've got these 3 layers ready, or our card base and our 2 layers ready. And I'm just going to run this through my embossing folder here, or through my machine, I should say. So let's run this through. So I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's a very subtle texture on there. But it just adds a little something extra to your paper, just to give it a nice look, especially if you're not, especially if it's kind of almost a focal piece, because there's, you know, you can see quite a lot of it in the card layout here. And so it's nice to have a bit of texture on there. Or you could stamp, or you could do an opposite designer series paper. So for example, the back of this particular paper is fantastic because it's just, you know, a mottled green. And so you could put this as a layer and then put these strips on top like that. I think I'm out of camera here. Right? So this could be a layer instead of this embossed piece. This could be your layer, and then you could put your strips of this on top. So you could almost make another card and do that as another example. Really quick way to create 2 cards at once. Okay, so let's start putting this onto our card base. Let me pull out my silicone craft sheet, and I'm going to put my tape runner on here. And let's put this on. Okay, so then this will go on. So it's at this point, before I put my final layer on, I have to decide if I'm going to maybe wrap some ribbon around here. So I can see wrapping some ribbon around here and tying a little bow like right here. So let's cut these strips and then see where we go from there. Excuse me. Take a sip of coffee. All right, so each of these strips are, my maximum length is 4 1/4. So I am just going to cut this down to 4 1/4 to start with. Because this I can cut into strips and put on the inside of cards. Okay, and then we need 3 strips that are 3/4, and then I'll cut them down. So we've got 3/4 on this side. So often when I'm cutting thin or narrow strips, this right side of the scoreboard, or sorry, of the trimmer is great, because this runs to 1.5 inches. So it's really handy for doing these narrow strips. So there's 3/4. I'm going to keep them in order, because I'm going to sort of make it's almost as if you're putting a painting on the wall in 3 panels. There's another strip, and then there's our final strip at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, I have a very busy week coming up. I'm starting to do my, I entered to do 3 card swaps. We have an event up island in Nanaimo this weekend. It's the first time since COVID started that demonstrators from around the island are getting together. They did limit it, so you have to register early. And I have decided to go. We have to wear masks, though, during the event, which may be a little challenging. I'll have to go out and get some fresh air in between, because that I'm not used to wearing my mask for long periods of time. Okay, so this we can always use somewhere else. So let's set that aside. Now, I'm really happy to tell you that the Daffodil Daydream stamp bundle is coming into the new annual catalog. But so whenever Stampin' Up comes out with a bundle with coordinating designer series paper, the designer series paper retires. So the beautiful daffodil paper that you can see here, this is retiring and will no longer be available. So if you have this set, then you might want to continue getting more paper, getting another 1 or 2 packs, depending on how much you like it, so that you can continue creating with it. Because I find it really sad when they carry over a stamp set or a bundle and then there's no paper. So, I mean, you can use other papers, of course, but the coordinating products are not there, okay? So just to warn you about that. All right, so now I don't know why I put my trimmer away, but I think I might, yeah, I have to pull it back in again. I have to cut these strips more narrow. All right, so let's get these back in order here. And I think I buggered it up already. I think I did. Okay, this is always challenging, isn't it? Not that somebody will really notice. Okay, why aren't they going back together again? Ah, there we go. There's one. There we go. I've got them in order again. Silly me. Okay, this one is 3/4 wide by 3 1/4. So 3 1/4. So I'm going to just trim that off. Okay, then this one is 3 3/4. There we go. And then the last one is the full length, right? Which was 4 1/4, did I say? Yes, 4 1/4. Okay, so there's your 3 lengths. Okay. So let's bring back our card base and layers. Okay. Yes, so I had started this month to do these Stamp It Saturdays, but I kind of forgot to mention that one Saturday, and there may be more than one Saturday a month where I can't do it. So I have a monthly team meeting the last Saturday of the month, and it starts at 10 a.m. because I have a team member who is in Ottawa. So I have to start that earlier. So yeah. And then, for example, our on tour event is on the one I signed up for is on a Saturday in April, so I won't be able to do one there. Okay, so these are going on here like this, and they're cascading down. Now, you can space them as, you know, however you want. What I'm going to do is figure out what my center is. Well, I'm going to eyeball it. I'm not going to measure anything. Okay, so this one is the longest one, so I'm going to start higher at the top here. Okay, and I'm trying to just, I want this centered one first. Okay, so let's just see what is the width of this. Oh, it's a really awkward. So I'm going to say 2 inches. So I'm just going to move it over here. And I'm going to grab, this is the persnickety bit that comes into mind. So I'm just going to put a light pencil mark. So see, I put a light pencil mark at the top and the bottom, just so I can see where the center is. Okay, so I know from this one that I'm going to start up here. And so I'm going to glue this one on first. And I think I'm going to use Tombow for this because I'm gluing it onto a textured surface. So let's pull out my Tombow. Put a little glue on the bottom. If you don't like the straight edge at the excuse me, straight edge at the bottom, you could put it through one of our banner punches, or you could hand flag the bottom. So what's good about using Tombow for this here is that you have time to slide them around if you need to. Isn't that pretty? I think that's really pretty like that. Okay, let me grab an eraser, and I'm just going to erase these little pencil marks. Oh, thanks, Barbie. Yeah, the white textured panel, it just adds a little something rather than this just being plain cardstock. Yeah. Okay, and I've got some of these little flyaway bits here. So let's just get those off. Okay, so we need to decide whether we want to add a ribbon on here or not. So that is basically your card layout right there. That's your card. Okay, so let's pull in, I could use this really bright, this is going to be retiring. I could pull in, oh my gosh, you could do anything. You could do gold, you could do even just your linen thread, but I have this Daffodil Delight ribbon here. So let's just experiment and see if we like it. So what I might do is I might tie the bow separate. It's really hard to tie a bow around a single sheet of paper. So let's see if I'm even going to like it. So I could pull it off if I decide I don't like it. Let's just try it. So I want this. So you just have to let me know if it kind of loses, we lose the effect of those 3 panels if I put ribbon on, but I just want to experiment. Okay, so I'm putting it right at the bottom of that last panel. Yeah, the Daffodil Delight. This is kind of a ruched ribbon. It's really pretty, but it's retiring. I'm not sure if it may, I don't know. You have to check if you go to my store. So a quick way to get to my store is to put my name in, Erica Edney, and then it's .stampinup.net, N-E-T.net, not .com, .net. ericaedney.stampinup.net. And then if you go to my online store, and then there's a clearance section too. You should always keep your eye out on the clearance section because they randomly stick stuff in there. And they often put ribbons and embellishments in clearance. And tap off my glue. All right, so we've got that. So when you're playing with glue on the back, this is the silicone sheet comes in handy too, because then it won't stick to your surface. All right, so I wanted to try a little bow on here. I think this ties a really nice bow. And the online store also has a section for retiring products. They're called Last Chance products. Look how cute that little bow is. Okay, so I could put a little bow right there. I'll even cut it off because I can always use it on another project. Okay. So this isn't quite straight enough. Okay, so if I put the bow like that, and then I'm going to put this on my, okay, what happened to my card base? Is it on? Yep, it's underneath. Okay, so let me know what you think. So that's, you know, one idea. Another idea is, you know, you could do, you could take a punch and put a greeting kind of like right smack in the middle, but I think it kind of might, I like the simplicity of that. Barbara, you say perfect? Yeah, it kind of works, doesn't it? Okay, I have to bring out my glue dots. Where are they? Here they are. I'm expecting an order today, and I had to get, look, I'm down to almost no glue dots left. And where's my pokey tool? So in Stampin' Up, we often talk about the beginner stamper, the casual stamper, and then the experienced stamper. Or what we call avid. So beginner, casual, avid stamper. So with a card like this, a beginner stamper may not be familiar with layers, and so they could directly put these strips of paper just on the card base there. And then maybe stamp a simple little greeting at the bottom. That would be your simplest form if we're using this card sketch. Then a casual stamper might say, oh, I really like the layers, and I'm just going to add some layers to that. And then maybe they would also stamp a little greeting on here. And if you're going to stamp a greeting, you want to stamp it on your cardstock before, of course, before you run it through the embossing folder. Or they may like an embossing folder, okay? And then an avid crafter, which is what I consider myself to be, is you're constantly adding extras and extras on it, okay? So then you've added the layers, you've added the texture, you've added a ribbon, and then you might add some embellishments, and then you might add a greeting. So that's the difference between, so as a casual or beginner stamper, they may not, they're just getting started, and they may not purchase a lot of supplies. So they want to do things that are fast and simple, okay? All right, so what have we got? Carol says it looks good. Barbara. Okay, so we're going to go with the ribbon then. And then let's glue this. We can commit this layer now. So again, I think I'm going to use some Tombow on here. So it's raining again in Victoria this morning, but I consider it a spring rain that will bring forth fresh greenery. We have our little bunny back. Well, he's not little. We've got a big bunny now. He's back in town. He hangs out our yard, but my husband's not happy because he's been chewing holes in our deer fence. So he's not too happy about that. So now I'm going to lift my ribbon up here, and I'm going to slide a glue dot underneath just to hold the ribbon down. Okay, and then I need another glue dot for the bow. So it would be great if this little bunny comes for a visit on Easter, because my daughter's boyfriend, we're having his son over for an Easter egg hunt. So I hope the bunny comes back for his little visit. You know what? I need another glue dot under there. It feels a bit loosey-goosey. So let's stick that underneath. Hang on, I need something to lift it up with. That's not working. Let's just lift it up. You know what? That bow seems loose. Let's just throw in some more glue dots. We'll stick one under here. And we'll stick one on the other loop. There we go. That feels better. Glue dots are great for your ribbon. All right, there is the card. Really simple. So again, as an avid stamper, you could end up putting some embellishments on there. Again, I can't say enough about my favorites. I know I've told you 1,000 times. They're called Artistry Blooms Adhesive Back Sequins. They're in 4 colors that are not retiring, and these are just great. But these are retiring, just to let you know. So I will be placing an order to make sure I get more of these. They're just my go-to. I love them so much. But I won't be able to rant and rave about them if once they're retired, because you won't be able to get them. Okay, ladies, there's your card this morning. Thanks, Barbara. Thank you, Sharon, and thank you, Carol, for joining me this morning. I will put a picture of this up on my this Facebook post so that you can go and make one of your own. And please do post a photo of what you create. I love seeing what you create. And I love to see any kind of variations that you do to the card. That's always fun with a layout because it's just something to get started with. All right, so nice of you to join, and I will be back, of course, on Thursday night for Case the Caddy. So go and have a wonderful week, and we will see you hopefully on Thursday. Bye for now. Oh, I keep forgetting. I always like to say goodbye face to face. I'll get into the habit of it one time or another. Okay, so go and have a great week, and we will see you later. Bye.